What up, everybody? It's your man Dame DNYDC. Two mics up, man. We live. You know, just kind of breaking the monotony up. You know, we're in between seasons, and I thought it'd be a good time to come back live and chop it up with everybody. So thanks for taking some time out to come sit with me here on this Wednesday night. Go ahead and if you in the chat, go ahead and let me know where you're from, where you're at. Let me know that you're here. Thanks for rocking with me tonight. We were planning on having a in-depth conversation with a up and coming, you know, brother who hasn't been on the scene for a while, rocking a brand new joint with the amazing Angie Stone. Filmmaker, producer, and everything. It looks like he's got tied up and not going to be able to make it this evening, unfortunately. So since we were already planned to come to you all tonight, we're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna rock with it for a little bit. We're gonna just jump around. If you have any comments, anything you want to talk about, anything you want to say, go ahead, throw it in the comments. Glad that you're here, like I said. But I'm gonna just kind of jump into some things that's kind of been in the news. Some things that I've been following and watching recently. Really as of today. In Alabama, I don't know anybody here from Alabama, or anybody has family in Alabama. In the news, they were talking about some students being at a high school down there, and they were told that they could not talk about slavery or the civil rights movement, period. And during Black History Month, because you know it made their white administrators feel uncomfortable. Now, yeah, that's one of those that you still shake your head here in 2022. You know, where you're supposed to be celebrating and highlighting, Black History Month. Now, of course, we have the shortest month of the year to do it, and in many other schools and administrations in states, they are working to eradicate Black history, from schools. So now here it is. We have white administrators feeling uncomfortable about the topic. The further we move ahead, it seems like the further that we fall back in our society, and is to a degree is it enrages me. It's still outrageous to think that we still have this going on, here in 2023, and there's no end in sight to this. And what makes it worse, I don't know if we have any answers um, that's really going to help solve the problem. Um, at the end of the day, a portion of this country is still made up of Black history, the fabric of Black men and women who have helped to build this country to what it is today. And it's mind-boggling to think that by talking about it or by acknowledging it still makes many of those who are white or not people of color, makes them uncomfortable. These horrors and these tragedies happen, and they say that talking about these things are therapeutic, and let's acknowledge what has happened. Let's have real contrite conversations about what took place in our history. It is what made this country what it is today, good or bad. But it still needs to be acknowledged. So I just found that bit of news interesting when I saw that earlier today. We also have Our good friend Don Lemon, he's been in the news as well. Don't really know what's going on with that whole CNN situation, but to my understanding, he's been given or been told or admonished, if you will, that no more of his antics are going to be tolerated. I don't know where you all stand. I think sometimes, when we all elevate and we think that we're at a certain point, it's like the chair game, going around and around and around. You're the first one to the chair. And I just think, just from my opinion, from watching and seeing what's been taking place with Don, um, just kind of being reminded that he's not really uh, at the status or the place where he really believes that he is. And the network is not doing well. The show is not doing well, and his antics, if you will, have not been helping to boost ratings. So he's being admonished to be mindful of what he says and what he does, especially with his co-hosts. It's an interesting story, and I'm pretty sure this is not the end of it. I'm pretty sure we're going to hear more of it, and I'd be interested. For those of you watching, you have any thoughts or comments, go ahead and drop them in. Love to hear what you have to say, regarding Don Lemon. And for those of you who may be just tuning in, unfortunately, Terrance Tykeem had a scheduling conflict, so he couldn't make it tonight. So rather than canceling tonight's conversation, I figured we'll just go ahead. We'll wing it. We'll have a little fun. It's been a while since we've been live here on Two Mics Up, and I figured I'd just go ahead and go with it. Give it a few minutes. Give it a few minutes of conversation. Don't want to waste the whole time. If we go 15, 20 minutes, I think that'll be fine for tonight, and we'll try to reschedule uh, with Terrance and his team uh, to have him come back and talk about the work that he's been putting in the music industry. We haven't seen him for a while. He's got a brand new joint out with Angie Stone. He's got some events that are going to be taking place here in the DMV area. And he's also, a film producer. He just did a couple of joints with Vivica Fox and some other heavy hitters in the film industry. So we wanted to share all of that, but we will circle back, like I said, with Terrance when he gets a free moment in his schedule with him and his team. I did want to take a minute, also while I have you, I wanted to talk about some things going on here in the DMV for those who are uh, local to the DMV area. We have quite a few different events that are getting ready to take place here in the DMV. So if you're interested, we're going to go ahead and share some of the news, in our community connector. Here Two Mics Up, we're committed to creating something great. This portion is brought to you by TD3 Insurance Agency at the National Harbor. I want to say thanks to our title sponsors, Riddick Entertainment, TD3 Insurance, 94 Media House, and our newest member Artistry Lather, and Levon Copeland. Just want to let you all know that in March in the Stafford region, 2023's Most Influential Women, it's an awards banquet, excuse me, presented by G3 Communication Services. Dresses business casual. It's at the Fredericksburg Expo and Convention Center, Thursday, March 9th, 2023. Then we have the Virginia Black Expo coming up in August 12th to 13th. Come on out, yo. We're gonna be rocking with Kiki Wyatt. She's gonna be putting it down. If you're a vendor and you're ready, go ahead and register today. If you're a business owner, reach out, become a sponsor, purchase a company table. Come on and support the culture. Season 5 of Two Mics Up will be returning April 2023. We're gonna be rocking with some actors and actresses. Tony Award winning Tanya Pinkins, Brett Chapin. Here at Two Mics Up, we also help elevate your brand, through presentation services, social media posts, business promotions, just a various number of things. So, you have all of that to look forward to. I want to say what's up to everybody. I see y'all in the shadows. Go ahead, drop a comment. Let me know you're here. Anything you want to share, talk about, because if you missed it, like I said, Terrance is not going to be able to join us tonight. We had a mix up in schedule, so we're going to work to reschedule him for another night. And I just didn't want to waste the time, didn't want to cancel. Just wanted to go ahead and take 10 or 15 minutes to shine with everybody else. What's happening in Costa Rica? Oh, Costa Rican, what's good? Thanks for joining us. Outside of that, ladies and gentlemen, looks like this is going to be a short one. Stay tuned. Like I said, Two Mics Up is coming back for season 5, Mogul TV Network. All brand new episodes. We're gonna have some more heavy hitters. Like I said, we're doing the King's Corner now. You can catch that on Saturday evenings, where I'm gonna be talking about, topics from my perspective as a small business owner, giving some tips. Every now and then you might also catch me just talking about some things off the head. I think as we close out Black History Month, I have something that, I want to talk about and I want to share. So stay tuned for that, this weekend. If you haven't done it already, make sure you go ahead and you follow up on, our Real Talk series. We've been doing Black History Month. Last week, man, was powerful. Shout out to Elisa Middleton and, Tanisha Watson for sitting down and really sharing with me, man. We talked about BLM, Black Lives Matter, the organization, the movement. And we really dove in onto the question of, do we matter? And I think you really want to go ahead and catch that conversation. It was really powerful. It was really dope. And all of them have been extremely wonderful conversations. We'll be closing out Black History Month also with the 4th series coming out Monday. Just me and some men that really hold me down, and I wanted to share a perspective from a men's viewpoint as far as Black history. And all of these men that are joining me have something in common where they've actually served, served in the military and in the armed services for our country. And I think it's really interesting to see how these men have developed throughout their lives, and just the information that they poured out and shared is really interesting. So stay tuned for that as well. And, really that's it, for this evening, ladies and gentlemen. I really want to thank you for joining in. I'm sorry. Like I said, we couldn't make tonight's conversation happen, but we'll be back with a whole new live. I'm not going to take up your time, but you know how we always do here on Two Mics Up, shouting out to our advertising partners. Want to go ahead and give them some shine. And matter of fact, while we give them some shine, let me go ahead and just run this real quick, and I'll be right back. 007. So there you have it. Shout out to our sponsors. Big ups to you all. Thank you so much. Yeah, man. Cliff was happening. Running that promo for you, bro. And I appreciate you, man. Appreciate all the support. For those who don't know and those that are on here, if you need insurance, it's my guy right here. This is your guy, Clifton Durham, TD3 Insurance Agency over at the National Harbor. Check him out. Knowledge. He got the goods. If he can't do it, I'd be surprised. Also check him out. He's on a new venture as well. He's he's jumping into the podcast pool. Him and some friends, man, bringing you all things real estate. So stay tuned and, check them out as they come up on the horizon, doing big things. But without him, man, Two Mics Up wouldn't be what it is without our sponsors and without you all that are watching. I see you all lurking and everybody's coming in the background. Thank you, like I said, for joining. We're gonna reschedule, but before I go, you all are jumping in here. Anything you want to talk about? We talk about Black History Month. I was just talking about how the black school in Alabama wanted to, shut things down with the students there because the white administrators felt uncomfortable, uh, you know, talking about Black History Month. Man, I appreciate you, bro. I'm motivated by you too, man. We talk about it all the time. Motivation, excuse me, like Rick James might say, is a hell of a drug. When it's used in the right manner. Motivation does not mean competition. When you can surround yourself with people, such as Cliff, and the people that I've met through networking and through my ventures that really test your metal, if you will, if you're on the right track, if you're doing the right thing, if your delivery is on point. And then, it's facts, and then hold you accountable, for some of the things that you may do, you're not doing, some things you may miss, you may not be missing. It's good to surround yourself by people that are motivated, that are motivated and moving in the same direction that you're looking to move in. So, if you're the biggest fish in the pond, might be time to change your circle. That's what I've been told, and that's what I've learned over the years. But that's really all I'm going to have tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to hold everyone up. Like I said, I apologize for Terrance not being able to make it. Sometimes life happens, mix-ups happen, schedules happen, and this is the entertainment business. But I did want to give you all something for at least 15 to 20 minutes. It's been a while trying to get back in the routine of coming to you all live on Wednesdays. Like I said, stay tuned. We have King's Corner. You can catch that Saturday nights. Dropping some different nuggets and different business skill sets and different things. Um, okay, cuz. Hey, Black history is American history. This country was built by and look, I'm not going to dispute that. It was built on the backs of so many of our ancestors and family members. It's ridiculous. And I will agree, it's sad that still to this day that many or a lot of white America feels uncomfortable talking about it. Like I said it earlier, they give us the shortest month to highlight it, but the other 11 months, they're spending all their time to erase uh, exactly what you said, cuz, it was built by us. It was built on the backs of our ancestors. So, you can't erase what it is. And it's not like, at least not from my perspective, the 40 acres and a mule, we know that's not going to happen. The reparations will probably never happen because they couldn't afford it. What dollar amount could you put on it? But the acknowledgement, I think, is the biggest key. I think if it was universally acknowledged, that would be the first step to at least, I don't want to say change, but that olive branch would help, ease some of the angst, and I don't want to say hate because I can't speak for all people, but there's an angst about it for most of us. We feel a way. We have this energy about it that sometimes it doesn't feel good. But the acknowledgement will go a long way uh, to at least help alleviate that angst. So I agree with you, cousin. And thank you, cuz, for joining me. But you're 100% right. We're going through a lot. You know, and I'm going to talk about it. Closing out. We opened up this month, Black History Month, to a young man being basically brutally beaten and murdered by several police officers of the same color. And it hurts so bad to watch it, and even to think about it. It still sits. It's very uncomfortable. But we have a problem. We have a huge problem, and this is not a race thing. That I'm talking about. We're talking about policing itself. There's a huge disconnect in policing, and you're 100% right, Cliff. That part right there, I that part right there, that they even had the audacity to plead guilty. Like, I don't even want to go. I'm ready to give two Not even 2 mics up. I'm ready. I'm about ready. Like it just makes no sense to me on camera that you feel comfortable enough to plead not guilty. And I mean, and this is our judicial system. I mean, there really is no need for no trial for this. I don't care what the backstory is, because we know there is a backstory. And as they're uncovering this now, we've got a fireman or firemen involved in the story. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. This man, whatever he did not deserve to have his life taken the way that it was. I don't care what you say. There's nothing that's going to make me believe. I don't care what you tell me. Outside of this man having horns and a tail like the devil himself, the way that they beat this man, there's there's no story. There's no acceptable story that can be told, about that. And you're right. The I mean, and I hate to say, but the slaughter of men who look like me. They're not to say above the law, but above the law, beyond the law. With a camera on, it doesn't matter. They don't care. And this is what I'm saying, to compound it, is that this was done by men who look like me. And like I said, I'm not making this a race thing. I'm talking about policing. There's a problem with policing and the way that law enforcement is doled out in our communities. And when I say our communities, the black and brown community, there's no way. There's no way that man should have experienced that. There's no reason why his family has to go through this pain and torture of a mock trial, if you will, because this is a mockery. I don't. This is a sham. It's a mockery. This is not justice. We all seen it. The eyes don't lie. The eyes just don't lie. Man was beaten to death, and these men deserve worse. And I don't know how you make it. And I don't even know how you make that worse. But what's scary is, like, when you're left to your own mind's design. I'm not a horrible person, but I could think of some horrible things. And that's scary. When you watch this and it makes you or puts you in a place, because one, I'm fearful. That could be me. Could be Cliff. Could be any man that's on this call, any man that we know. I don't have a son, but I'd be nervous as hell for my son every day to just be outside in front of his own home, and what could happen to him. We're seeing it now where, police are going in schools and in malls, and they're pulling over young kids of color at gunpoint now, 12 and 13 years old. I mean, that's what policing and law enforcement has become now, to where young kids, 11, 12, 13, are being pulled over and stopped and questioned at gunpoint. I mean, it's a fearful time, and I don't have the answers to it, but we got to do better, man. This whole thing's got to, from the top on down, this whole system has to be dismantled and fixed. I can't say it any other way. Look, and see, this is what I'm saying. So you have a son, and this is the scary part. These are the kind of conversations that you have to have. You have to role play with your son now and prepare him, for when he gets pulled over, or if he gets pulled over. Because there used to be a time is if, but today's time, it could be highly likely that he gets pulled over. But now you're in a position as a father and as a man of color. Why do you have to prepare your child to be pulled over? You're supposed to be protected. Yeah, that should be a protected conversation with a police officer or a law enforcement officer. You know what I'm saying? It's real talk. You're preparing him for the worst from the people that are supposed to be protecting him. So now he can't even have a conversation because he's worried about his life being taken. It makes no sense at all. And the sad part, and we're going to keep it real now, this is where we're going to bring, and I'm going to bring and introduce race into it, guarantee you that that conversation doesn't have or doesn't even happen in a white household because they don't have to prepare for that. There's no need to prepare for that. It's a almost as, I'm going to say it is a God given right. And sometimes a God given right for them to be wrong, where we are in the right. And there's been times that we've seen it happen where we're the ones calling for help and still lose our lives. How do you prepare? You got to prepare. And it's beyond the things that make you say, a lot of times, man, I sit and I watch, even as a citizen, right? Do I get involved? And then this is the flip side of it. So as a citizen, as a law-abiding citizen, an upstanding citizen, a tax-paying citizen, because they get me and my wife's money every year, do I get involved? Do I care enough now to get involved? And that's even scarier because I could be in a situation where there's another young man or woman that looks like me that's going through something, and I have to question now, do I get involved? How do you help? And like you said, going back to what Cliff said, now it's to the point where, well, the video doesn't even matter anymore, which is sad. And I'm just throwing these things out because I know we all probably we think about it, we've talked about it. There's no answers, to this, but we have to talk about it. We have to be prepared, unfortunately, and we really need to work to, in my opinion, we got to get our money together, we got to get our vote together, and we've got to go ahead and figure out how do we peel back the layers on this insulated system that's broken. I'm not talking about the police officers. I'm not talking about black or white. I'm talking about the institution that's broken, the training that these men and women are receiving, the mental health care that goes behind, these men and women before they're actually going through the academy and actually passing tests to be given guns to actually walk out on these streets. It's scary. I have a friend, a gentleman that I work with that's in law enforcement, and he came straight from the military, and talk about his PSTD, and everything that he's dealing with. Sometimes he out here in the streets, man, he having flashbacks like he's still overseas. What's happening, shorty? Thanks for joining us. So these things, these flashbacks though, do then really become real life because he's no longer serving in the military. He's serving here, I'm not gonna say, let's just say DC, right? And he's having all of these flashbacks and these actions that in his mind are real to him. But that puts you and I as citizens, we're now in the crossfire of a gentleman or a person or a woman who needs help, who needs therapy. How is that good for the everyday citizen? When you start peeling these things back, because it's true, many of our law enforcement officers are brought on, through the military and through military service. How safe is that for me? I don't know what this person's mental health struggles are. I don't know if he's having a good day or a bad day. Only difference is I know I go to work. If I'm not having a good day, the safety of it all, uh, you know, hey, LeVon, thank you for joining us. Yeah, and it is an old wild thing when you really have to sit and think about it, because a lot of us don't. We're thinking these people are coming on board. They're coming to do a job, right? Protect and serve. But the backstory behind it, just like you and I at our job, people are having a rough day, and you turn and you're looking at Dave, and Dave is kirking out. Dave is flipping, cussing, cursing, throwing things like you don't know what the meltdown is about. You know, you peel back the layers. Dave served, and certain things have certain traumas or certain triggers, if you will, creates that really relives that enactment of that trauma or that stress. Yeah, he lets it out. Well, same thing in law enforcement. But I would even think, though, not being in law enforcement, I would imagine, though, it's probably 100 times higher, because I can only imagine some of the things that they see or experience or have to deal with every day. Now, replay that, those traumas and those stresses every day, 365 days. Eventually, it's like anything else. They tell you put enough pressure on something, it's going to snap. This is what we as a community, as a society, we're dealing with as well. And a lot of times this is not talked about, but this is why I say, like, the system needs to be revamped. It needs to be reworked. It needs to be looked at. Putting these individuals on the street every day when they need help may not be the best thing for the general public at large. Just a thought, just my blind's eye commentary. And I'm interested, what do you all think? Have you ever thought about it? What do you do, like Cliff? Anyone here else have a son or a daughter that goes out every day? Do you worry about your child? How are things in school? Because schools change. They're erasing our history and our culture from the books. But every Black History Month, they roll out that one Black representative. It's going to speak for the company. It's going to do all the DEI work. That's our guy. The appeasement of it all is laughable. It's disgusting, or is becoming disgusting to me, because it's like that song on the radio. You know they're gonna play that song at the top of the hour. Yeah, and that's how it is for Black History Month. Makes me feel like I don't want to be appeased. Talking. I'm grown. I'm intelligent. I can think. Talk to me. But they roll this out and regurgitate this stuff every month. So that was my little rant. We're going to slide off to that. Hopefully you all go out and really take a look at what's going on in your areas, wherever you all live, in your district. Go out and really pay attention to, who's your sheriff or who's in charge of your law enforcement. Get involved in your community. Do what you can to stem or break the chain, because that's really what it is, trying to break the chain of what's going on. And this is not a race thing. And I mean that from my heart, everybody. Everyone in law enforcement that's white, it's not a crook or a criminal or out there to harm or hurt people of color. I really believe that. But the training that goes behind it, or the lack thereof, the lack of mental health assistance for law enforcement, the same way we as a community need it when they roll up on the scene. Like there's just so many things behind the scenes that I think that are far more important. People talk about defunding the police. I don't know about defunding, but maybe refunneling or reallocation of funds would do better. But again, you have to have a system that is willing to change and allow that. And right now, our law enforcement systems seem to be pressed up against the wall and pushing back. Because a lot of times people don't like change. We all like to stay in our bubble. It's comfortable. We feel safe. But sometimes change is good. So, just interested. Yeah, I just want to share that out. And I'm interested, if you want, drop it in a comment. Anything you want to say, please do. I thank you all. Like I say, I didn't mean to go into that little tangent. I went off to the side. But thank you all for joining. Like I said at the top of the hour, unfortunately, Terrance Tykeem, he had a scheduling change. Couldn't rock with me tonight, but I'm glad that I have you all here rocking with me. I did not want to waste the opportunity. It's been a while. 2 mics up, being live. We are kind of in between seasons 4 and 5. Recordings are going strong. If you know anyone that's a small business that is in it, that's looking to advertise, they want to market and brand themselves on a network show, shout out to my Mogul TV Global Network family. Can't wait for season 5. Send them my way. Man, look, I appreciate you, Cliff. Yeah, rocks with you too, man. And we're trying to keep this thing moving, trying to keep this thing strong, trying to keep this growth, man, trying to keep it steady, man, and just keep bringing you all real content, real talk, without getting myself in trouble. Last year we had hashtag Dame sleeping on the couch. I like my bed. We trying to stay off the couch. We're trying to keep my wife from busting me upside the head and all types of things like that. So, but thank you again, ladies and gentlemen, for your time. And at this time, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sign out. But for those that are here, I'm going to go ahead and play this one more time because we do have, and I want to do also let you know I'm going to play this back. In the news, if you didn't catch it earlier, DMV, you got friends and family. Come on and check these events out. Go out and support. Our title sponsors: Riddick Entertainment, TD3 Insurance, 94 Media House, Artistry Lather, our newest title sponsor. LaVon Copeland. LaVon, thank you for joining us. She's our newest advertising partner. If you are in the Stafford region, March 2023, they coming back with the most influential women. It's an award banquet presented by G3 Community Services and Enough. It's business casual. It's at the Fredericksburg Expo and Conference Center, Thursday, March 9th, 2023, from 6 to 9 p.m. Get your tickets and or tables. And put this on your schedule. Kiki Wyatt is coming to Fredericksburg, Virginia for the Virginia Black Business Expo. If you're a vendor or you know anybody that wants to be a vendor, get them the information, register today. If you're a business owner, come on out and sponsor, purchase yourself a table. It's the weekend of August 12th through 13th, 2023. Season 5, The Return in April. Going to be rocking with Tony Award-winning actress Tanya Pinkins, actor and producer Brett Chapin. We got so many more celebs coming through and great conversations. Two Mics Up is all about helping you elevate yourself and your brand. Social media posts, business presentations, you name it. I'm here for it. I'm here to help. I'm here to serve, here to elevate others. I appreciate each and every one of you for rocking with me tonight. And look, how we do it this time, ladies and gentlemen, because we're going to make it brief. May you all stay safe, stay blessed. Mics out. 007.